Hi everyone, it is Jared again. This is round 2 of the Monday webinar recording. Apparently there were some technical problems about halfway through on the first webinar recording, so I'm doing it again because I like you guys that much and I want everyone to get some of these fantastic trade setups that we have going on right now. So I figure we'll just go for it again. Here we go. Okay, so most of you have already seen this part, but remember, not a heavy news week, so that's good. We don't have a whole ton to worry about there, so that should work out pretty great. But we definitely have enough news to get markets running and rolling. So no major job report numbers, no major central bank report details either. So it should be a fairly steady week in the direction of, setups and trends and so on. Remember, you can go to daytradersfx.com, get a free trial. We'd love to have you. Just click on Start Now, and that will take you to the page that gives you all the free trial information, and that's all right here. Remember, we have a couple of different levels you can get. One includes a live trade room, and one does not, so you can see one's a little bit cheaper. So there's a little something for everybody. I hope you stop by and see us. We have some really great setups this week that I want to make sure everybody has a chance to take advantage of. So, okay, let's get back to the charts again. Okay, so euro dollar, just a review on euro dollar here. The 4-hour and 1-hour charts are getting attractive, but 1-hour euro dollar charts are not quite there yet. So sometime in the next 24 to 48 hours, they start getting super interesting. But right now, we're only about 125 bars out on the 4-hour chart, on the 1-hour chart on euro dollar. But we're a good little bit out on this 4-hour chart, and this is why the euro dollar has become such an attractive trade for me lately, is that we're over 180 bars out here on the 4-hour chart. And so it's starting to turn into something pretty interesting. You can see that we have several missed pivots up here. 134.66, 135.50 area. We have one all the way up at 138, which I have no idea when that one's going to get reached. It's going to be probably a very long time. But the setups are all pretty solid. We have a nice little run here. This euro dollar loves running down to 131.50, and it's pretty darn close to it. As the euro dollar gets above 132 about 10, I think we have an easy run into 132.60. 50-60 area, which is where we have some daily and weekly pivot points. And then I think we may even have some possibilities to get up into this major resistance level at 133.30. So 133.30 is still a very attractive level. It might take the euro dollar a little bit of a move lower to get into that run up. But 133.30 is a major target, and 132.50, 60 are those are nice little short-term 50 and 60 pip profit targets that you can shoot for as well. So I'm looking forward to those. Those should be some really nice little setups. So hang in there and be ready for that break. But we are definitely looking to get long euro dollar, but probably after just a tiny little bit of a move lower. So that's kind of where we are on all of that. Pound dollar, remember the pound dollar has done that great thing that we've talked about a little bit last week and so on, which is 7 consecutive weekly candles down. This thing has come down from 171.90, almost 172.00, and just tanked. This thing just dropped like crazy. Leaving 7 consecutive candles, and again, we don't see 7 consecutive bullish or bearish candles very often. It happens, it does happen, but it's kind of every couple of years, and so this is kind of a big deal. So I think we're going to have some nice opportunity for that euro dollar, or excuse me, for that pound dollar to retrace and start coming back up. And another thing to remember here is that excuse me. Another thing to remember is that the pound dollar has closed below the 23% fib, and we fully expect it to reach the 38% fib, which is around just below 163.00. So after some retracement, hopefully into the high 160s, 167, 168, right around there, we'll see a nice move down into the low 160s. But we're looking right now to take advantage of this oversold market and see if we can get some buy opportunities to trade this back on up. You can see that we have a very nice falling wedge right here, and 166.00 is a great level. A break above 166.00, and the pound dollar should be ready to move up into, probably a minimum again, a minimum of 166.50. There's a easy, like, guaranteed 50 pips there, but I think we should be able to get up into the 167.25 to 167.50 area. Right in the middle of that, we have a missed daily and weekly pivot that perfectly overlap each other, and that's a great target. And again, our 4-hour chart's overextended, and the 1-hour chart is not all the way. Actually, the 1-hour chart is fairly extended on this one. I forgot. This is 200 bars out, and that's a big deal. So 4-hour and 1-hour are looking good. The 4-hour could go a little bit further, but the 1-hour is right at that level where it just doesn't go too much further. So again, our 4-hour you can see is about 140 bars out. So the pound dollar is a very attractive buy right now, and I really like this one. We're already in it. We're in profit. It's looking great. So pound dollar is a great little setup. Really liking this one a good bit. Dollar CAD. Remember, dollar CAD is a very great little setup as well. Basically, what we're looking for on dollar CAD is a break above 109.85, and we get long into a minimum. We have this little cluster here about 110.30, and then about 11100. So I think if we get above 109.85, and it picks up a little bit of momentum, 11100 is going to be a very easy target. So let's be looking for a break above 109.85 and a target of 11100. If, however, it doesn't get there because the 4-hour chart is starting to get a little bit on the overextended side, then below 109.50 I would consider being short into about 108.75, 108.80, right around there. That's a great little setup. That's a great little everything right there. So I really like that one. I think that would be a great opportunity to get us in either direction. So again, below 109.50 we should be bearish, and above 109.85 we should be bullish, and that's a pretty tight channel. It's only 35 pips, so it gives us a pretty good opportunity and a pretty good trade setup to really get going either direction. So really liking that dollar CAD. That's a great little setup. Again, bullish above 109.85, bearish below 109.50. Similar setup on Aussie New Zealand. The Aussie New Zealand is making a nice little run here, and you can see that we have a nice rising wedge on this one as well. We have a pending order on this that has not filled, and I'm definitely thinking about moving that up a good little bit. We have kind of a tighter rising wedge right here, and I think probably somewhere below about 11100 I would start selling this thing down into about 110. So the 111 to 110, a nice little 100 pip move should be a pretty easy run on this Aussie New Zealand. The 4-hour chart is looking pretty attractive and looking pretty great there. So you can see about 170 bars on that 4-hour chart. It wouldn't hurt to get this 1-hour chart looking a little bit better than it does. You can see the 1 hour is only 125 bars out, so I could see that 1 hour heading up a bit more, but the 4-hour chart is ready to go. So short term, we could see just a little bit of a push higher, which at that case, I would have no problem getting into this thing, up around even 11200, right around there, to short it down to 110. So really liking Aussie New Zealand. More details to come on that one, but again, euro dollar, pound dollar, dollar CAD, and Aussie New Zealand are all looking super, super great. And then remember, we've got our New Zealand dollar. The New Zealand dollar is getting pretty interesting on all fronts here. The 4-hour chart definitely has a little bit more to go, but the 4-hour chart's about 143 bars out, which is pretty good. 1-hour chart is a bit less. So our 1 hour is only about 115, but if this continues to kind of go sideways, consolidate, even head a little bit lower, this is going to turn into a really attractive short-term buy opportunity, while it is in this overextended, kind of oversold status. Again, this one's got a pretty extreme drop-off right here as well, and so I think we're going to see some really, really nice opportunities to buy the dip on this New Zealand dollar, and then hopefully continue shorting it down into some very, very nice low levels. So really liking this one for a buy in the near term, and then shorting it in the longer, bigger move down into like this weekly 200 moving average, which gets us right at about the 8100 to 80 level. I think that's going to be a great target, but I think it's got to recover a bit before we get there. So that's what we're looking for by that recovery, and that's what we're doing on euro dollar, pound dollar. We're buying recoveries. We're shorting overextended markets as well on Aussie New Zealand and dollar CAD. So those are both looking like great opportunities. Remember, pound Swiss franc and euro pound are both potential entries coming up as well. Pound Swiss franc has left a couple of gaps here. We have a nice little gap from the open of this week and a gap from the open of last week, which have not been filled. So I think the pound Swiss franc, I think I might have said pound CAD, but pound Swiss franc is probably headed down a little bit before it heads back up. So that's what I'm looking for. I think we can get a nice little move down, and then we could start really buying that move up. Or if it does move up, remember we've got a nicely extended 200 moving average on the daily chart here. If it does make a move up, then we're going to have a really attractive short opportunity to trade this down into 150, which I think would be fantastic. So anyways, those are the setups we're looking for. Hopefully the recording has worked all the way through this time, and we can get some nice trade setups going. So best of luck, everyone. Thanks, and have a great day.